People say success leaves clues, but sometimes it leaves shadows. In the heart of a busy city stood a store unlike any other. Its tall glass windows reflected the golden light of the evening sun. And inside, every shelf displayed rare fabrics, expensive spices, and valuable antiques collected from distant lands. Customers didn't just come here to buy goods, they came to witness success. Above the entrance, written in elegant gold letters, was a name almost everyone recognized: Hakeem Trading Company. Hakeem was known as one of the most successful merchants in the region. His business stretched across cities, his warehouses were always full, and his deals were always profitable. People admired his discipline, respected his intelligence, and envied his wealth. But very few people knew how his story truly began. Years ago, Hakeem had nothing. No powerful family, no financial support, no opportunities waiting for him. He was just another man trying to survive in a competitive market where stronger men often crushed weaker ones without hesitation. But Hakeem possessed something rare: an unrelenting hunger for success. He would wake up before sunrise and walk through crowded streets offering small goods to strangers. Some days he sold simple fabrics, other days spices, and sometimes old items he had repaired himself. Many people ignored him. Some laughed at him. But he continued. Deal by deal, opportunity by opportunity, Hakeem slowly began to understand the patterns of business. He studied how customers behaved, how suppliers negotiated, and how markets changed. Every small success gave him confidence. Every failure gave him experience. Slowly, his small wooden stall grew into a modest shop. Then the modest shop grew into something bigger. Within 10 years, Hakeem had built a powerful trading company that controlled supply routes across multiple cities. His name became associated with reliability and ambition. Investors trusted him. Partners respected him. From the outside, his life appeared perfect. But success always tells a story, and some stories prefer to stay hidden. During the day, Hakeem was surrounded by people, employees, partners, customers, and competitors. But at night, when the markets closed and silence covered the city, he remained alone in his private office. Under the dim light of a single lamp, he reviewed accounts, signed contracts, and planned expansion strategies. The numbers never disappointed him. Profits increased month after month. Yet despite his achievements, Hakeem rarely smiled. There was always a strange tension in his eyes. One evening, as he reviewed financial reports, he noticed something unusual. His shadow on the wall appeared longer than normal. At first, he ignored it. The position of the lamp could easily create illusions. After all, he had been working late for several weeks. Fatigue could easily play tricks on the mind. But the next night, it happened again. The shadow stretched across the wall in an unnatural way. When Hakeem slightly adjusted his posture, the shadow seemed to hesitate, almost as if it were deciding whether to follow him or not. He adjusted the lamp again. The shadow returned to normal. Still, the feeling of discomfort remained, an uncomfortable awareness that he was not alone, even when the room was empty. One late evening, rain tapped softly against the office windows as Hakeem studied shipment documents. The quiet rhythm usually helped him concentrate. But that night, he felt distracted. The sensation returned. Slowly, he turned his head. No one was there. The office was completely empty. He looked back at the wall. For a brief moment, it appeared as though there were two shadows instead of one. Hakeem blinked. The second shape disappeared instantly. His heartbeat quickened. Just exhaustion, he whispered quietly. But the explanation did not convince him. That night, sleep refused to come easily. Every time he closed his eyes, the strange image returned. Two shadows, but only one man. The following day, an old acquaintance named Yusuf visited the store. Yusuf had known Hakeem long before wealth changed his lifestyle. "You have everything now," Yusuf said calmly while observing the luxurious office. Hakeem smiled politely. "Everything that matters." Yusuf studied his face carefully. "Be careful," he said softly. Sometimes the price of success is hidden until it becomes too heavy to carry. Hakeem quickly changed the subject, but Yusuf's words remained in his thoughts long after the meeting ended. Later that night, feeling restless, Hakeem opened a locked cabinet containing documents from his earliest business years. Old contracts, old agreements, old decisions, proof of how far he had come. While searching through the files, he discovered a folder covered in dust, pushed deep into the back corner. The moment he saw the name written across its surface, his hands froze. Kareem. Memories he had buried long ago began to return. Kareem was not just a former business partner. Kareem was the beginning of everything. Years ago, when Hakeem struggled to survive, Kareem was the only person who believed in him. Together, they built a small trading partnership. Kareem provided the initial investment and introduced Hakeem to reliable suppliers. Their business grew faster than either of them expected. As profits increased, Hakeem's ambitions grew stronger. He wanted faster growth, larger markets, greater influence. Kareem believed in patience. Hakeem believed in opportunity. One evening, an offer arrived that could transform their small company into something powerful. A rare shipment of valuable goods had become available at an unusually low price. The potential profit was enormous. But there was a problem. The deal was not completely honest. The supplier had acquired the goods through questionable means. Nothing illegal could be proven, but nothing was entirely clean either. Kareem refused immediately. This is not the right way, he warned. Shortcuts always demand payment later. But Hakeem saw something else. He saw speed. He saw advantage. He saw the chance to become more than just another struggling merchant. That night, while Kareem believed the offer had been rejected, Hakeem secretly accepted the deal. When the shipment arrived, the profit exceeded all expectations. The money opened doors to new partnerships, larger markets, and powerful connections. When Kareem discovered the truth, disappointment filled his eyes. "You did this without telling me," he said quietly. "We needed this," Hakeem replied defensively. "Look at the results." Kareem shook his head slowly. Results achieved without honesty always leave a mark. The argument that followed ended their partnership. Kareem chose to walk away peacefully, asking only for his share of the original investment. But by then, Hakeem feared losing control of his growing empire. He delayed payment, then delayed again. Excuses replaced honesty. Promises replaced action. Eventually, Kareem stopped asking. And one day, he disappeared completely. Some believed he left the city. Some believed he fell into poverty. Standing in his office years later, holding the old file, Hakeem finally understood something he had tried to ignore. Every major opportunity that built his empire could be traced back to that first dishonest deal. Without it, none of this would exist. Behind him, the light flickered. Slowly, he looked toward the wall. His shadow appeared darker than before, heavier, and beside it, another shape remained, still, unmoving, waiting. Kareem's voice echoed in his memory. Shortcuts always demand payment later. For the first time in many years, Hakeem allowed himself to ask the question he had avoided. What if success was never truly his? What if everything he built carried a debt he never repaid? The following morning, instead of attending meetings, Hakeem began searching for information about Kareem. Old contacts, old addresses, old memories. Most people remembered very little. Time had erased nearly every trace. Until finally, an elderly shopkeeper recognized the name. "I remember him," the man said quietly. "An honest trader. He struggled after the partnership ended. What happened to him?" Hakeem asked. The shopkeeper hesitated. He lost everything, but he refused to abandon honesty. And then? The old man lowered his eyes. He passed away. Many years ago, silence filled the air. In that moment, the weight of success felt heavier than failure. That night, Hakeem returned to his office once more. The lamp illuminated the familiar wall. His shadow appeared again. But this time, he did not look away. "I remember," he whispered softly. The shadow did not disappear. But something inside him changed. The next day, Hakeem established a foundation in Kareem's name, dedicating a large portion of his wealth to support small, honest businesses struggling to survive. It did not erase the past. It did not rewrite history. But it was a beginning. Because some shadows are not meant to disappear. They are meant to remind us who we once were and who we still have the chance to become. In the end, Hakeem understood a truth many people realize too late. A man can escape poverty. A man can escape failure. A man can even escape the judgment of others. But no one escapes the shadow created by their own choices. And sometimes, the greatest success is not how much we gain, but how much we are willing to give back.